You drift through a graveyard of gods. Your little scavenger ship, the Stray Dog, is a mote of dust here. It floats in a silence that feels heavier than sound. All around you are the bones of a forgotten war. Shapes that defy simple description. Mile-long vessels bent into impossible angles. Hulls peeled open like rotten fruit. This is not a battlefield. It is a tomb. Your ship's computer struggles to make sense of the scale. It keeps correcting its own estimates. Each correction adds another zero. The debris field is larger than some solar systems. You cut the engines. There is no need for them here. Your momentum will carry you for 1,000 years. A profound stillness settles in. This is the wreckage of the Hollow Engineers' war. You are the first human to see it. Decades of chasing whispers and ghost signals led you here, to the edge of known space and then a little further. Everyone said you were chasing myths, looking at the 5-mile-long spine of a broken warship. You feel pretty vindicated. You tell your ship's computer to start scanning. The reply is dry. It has already begun, and it is already failing. The materials are unknown. The energy signatures are paradoxical. They are both active and inert. Your screen shows 1,000 error messages. They cascade down the display like a waterfall of confusion. Your computer suggests turning back. It's a logical suggestion. You ignore it completely. This is the discovery of 1,000,000 lifetimes. You are not leaving. You pilot the Stray Dog deeper into the field. You move with the care of a deep-sea diver. The colossal wrecks drift past your canopy. They are silent monuments to a terrible power. You see no signs of life, no escape pods, no bodies. It is as if the crews simply vanished, evaporated from their stations in an instant. The thought sends a cold shiver down your spine. Your proximity sensors scream a sudden warning. You swerve hard. A piece of shrapnel the size of a city block tumbles past. It moves in slow motion, a lazy dance of death. You let out a breath you did not know you were holding. This place does not forgive mistakes. It does not even notice them. It simply is. And you are a trespasser. After 3 hours of careful coasting, you find it. It is not large compared to the giants surrounding it. It is a perfect sphere of obsidian material. It hangs in the void, untouched by the destruction. No scratches, no dents. Not even a speck of dust mars its surface. It seems to absorb the light around it. Your sensors get nothing but that same paradoxical reading. Active and dead. You ease your ship closer. The object is about 10 feet in diameter. It looks like a piece of abstract art. As you approach, a low hum vibrates through your ship's hull. It is not a sound your microphone picks up. It is a feeling, a deep thrumming that resonates in your bones. Your ship's computer announces it cannot identify the frequency. It also adds, with a hint of digital concern, that it shouldn't exist. You extend the ship's manipulator arm. The metal claw moves slowly toward the sphere, millimeter by millimeter. The hum grows stronger. It feels ancient, like the first thought of a new universe. The claw touches the surface, and the universe goes white. For a moment, you see things. Star charts drawn in lines of fire. Blueprints for machines that could move planets. You see a face, gaunt and wise, screaming without a sound. Then it is over. The light recedes. The hum fades back to a quiet thrum. Your ship's systems are rebooting, every single one of them. You float in the dark for a full minute. Your heart hammers against your ribs. The artifact is still there, unchanged, waiting. You have found your first alien relic, and it seems to have noticed you too. You feel a strange pull towards it, a sense of purpose. It is more than just a piece of technology. It is a key, a message in a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean. You have to know what it opens. Ignoring every self-preservation instinct you have, you open your ship's cargo bay. The artifact drifts inside as if guided by an unseen hand. The bay doors close. The hum is now a permanent part of your ship. The silence of the graveyard returns. But it is different now. It feels less empty. It feels like you are being watched, not by eyes, but by the debris itself, as if the dead ships are stirring in their sleep. You check your systems again. Everything is back online, except now. There is a new icon on your navigation screen, a single, glowing point of light. Deep inside the densest part of the wreckage, the artifact is showing you the way. The journey feels different now. Before, you were an explorer. Now, you are a participant. The hum from the cargo bay is a constant companion. It is a quiet promise of revelation and of danger. You pass through the shattered hull of a truly titanic vessel. It is so large you mistake its curving interior for a small moon. Inside, you see things that make no sense. Corridors that twist into knots. Rooms bigger on the inside than the outside. The geometry of this place was not made for human minds. Suddenly, the hum changes. It spikes into a sharp, insistent pulse. Red lights flash across your console. Proximity alerts, multiple contacts. They are appearing out of nowhere. Small, drone-like shapes detaching from the inner surfaces of the wreck. They are old, covered in the dust of ages, but their weapon ports are glowing with fresh energy. The silence of the graveyard is broken. Ancient defenses awaken. They were dormant, waiting for a signal. Your artifact was that signal. A high-energy beam lances out from the nearest drone. It misses your cockpit by inches. The heat of its passage warms your face. Your ship's computer screams warnings, evasive maneuvers. You throw the stray dog into a tight spiral. More beams follow. They crisscross the void around you. A cage of angry light. You are no longer a scavenger. You are a target. These are not dumb drones. They move with lethal precision. They flank you. They anticipate your moves. It is a coordinated attack. You dive deeper into the wreck, using the bizarre architecture for cover. A support beam as wide as a skyscraper gives you a moment's peace. You look at your console. There are dozens of them now, and more are activating every second. Your ship is fast. It is nimble, but it is not a warship. Your only weapon is a low-power mining laser. It would barely scratch their hulls. This was a terrible idea. A brilliant, history-making, terrible idea. The drones swarm into the cavernous space after you. Their engine flares are like angry fireflies in the dark. You push your engines to their absolute limit. The ship groans in protest. The chase is on. You need a way out, not just from the drones, but from this metal maze. The glowing point on your navigation screen is your only guide. It pulses faster and faster, leading you deeper. It is a trap, or it is a sanctuary. At this point, you are not sure there is a difference. Another laser blast clips your port stabilizer. The ship lurches violently. Alarms blare. You fight to keep control. The hum from your cargo hold changes again. It sends out a single, powerful wave of energy. Not an attack, something else. The drones pursuing you falter for a second. Their movements become jerky. Disorganized, the artifact is fighting back. It is your only ally in this forgotten tomb. It bought you a few seconds. You use them. You fly straight for the glowing point, down a throat of twisted metal and dead technology. The passage narrows. The drones cannot follow you in their swarm formation. They have to come in single file. You have a chance. a slim one. You see a destination ahead, a protected chamber, a docking bay of some kind, still intact. You fly the stray dog into it. The drones are right behind you. The bay door is closed. Of course it is. You are about to become a smear on a very old wall. Then, the door irises open. Just in time, you sail through. It slams shut behind you. You hear the faint pings of the drones crashing against its armored surface. You are safe. For now. You have reached the place the artifact was leading you. It is a control room, small, intact, and at its center, a holographic projector sputters to life. A figure appears, gaunt, wise, the face from your vision. It opens its mouth, and a voice echoes in the silence. The voice of a lost engineer. The hologram flickers. Its image is unstable. But the voice is clear. It speaks in a language you do not understand. Yet you understand it perfectly. The words form in your mind. A direct transmission of meaning. It is a warning. A final, desperate message left by the last survivor. It came from the dark between galaxies, the engineer says. Its voice is heavy with grief. We did not see it. We did not understand. The engineer gestures with a long, slender hand. The hologram shows images of its people. Tall, graceful beings living in cities of light, cities built inside hollowed-out moons and planets. They were masters of the physical world. They could shape reality to their will. We were proud, the voice continues. We believed we were the final word of creation. We were wrong. The image shifts. It shows a darkness, a patch of space that is not just black, but empty, a hole in the fabric of existence. And from it, something emerges. It is not a ship. It is not a creature. It is a wave of unmaking, a ripple of anti-reality. It touches a star, and the star vanishes. No explosion, no nova, just gone. The engineer's voice trembles. It does not destroy. It erases. It unwrites the laws of what is. This was the foe. This unmaking horror. It swept through their vast empire. Their fleets of world ships were like sandcastles against the tide. Their weapons were useless. How do you shoot something that is not there? How do you fight a concept? We could not stop it, the engineer confesses. We could only run. We tried to hide, to build a weapon, a final defense. But we ran out of time. The engineer's image looks directly at you, through you. This place is that weapon. A failure, a tomb. We sealed it. We set the guardians. We hoped the silence would keep it sleeping. The message ends with a plea to whatever life form found this message. Do not wake the echoes. Do not broadcast your presence. The silence is your only shield. Let this graveyard be our final monument and our final warning. The hologram fades. The voice is gone. You are alone again in the control room. The warning has come 10,000 years too late. You did wake the echoes. And you know, with a cold certainty, that you are broadcasting your presence. Just as the thought forms, a new sound breaks the silence. Not from outside, from your own ship. A long-range communication request. The signal is human, strong, military grade. You look at your screen. A massive energy signature is tearing a hole in space-time just outside the debris field. A jump signature, a very large one. Your heart sinks. Humanity has arrived in force. A fleet of great warships breaches the void. They are beautiful and terrible. The pride of the human navy. The Aegis-class cruiser, Indomitable, leads the formation. Its captain's face appears on your screen. It is an admiral. Stern, confident, utterly unaware of the hornet's nest he is flying into. Unidentified vessel, the admiral's voice booms. This is Admiral Kaito of the Human Systems Alliance. This sector is now under martial law. Identify yourself. You try to explain. You try to pass on the engineer's warning. You tell him about the unmaking foe, about the need for silence. He listens. But he does not hear. He sees only the prize, a debris field of unimaginable technological wealth. A shortcut to galactic supremacy. A scavenger's ghost story, he says, his tone dismissive. We appreciate your concern, citizen, but the Alliance can handle itself. We are here to secure this discovery for humanity. His eyes gleam with ambition. You plead with him. You tell him the power signatures of his fleet are like a dinner bell, a beacon in the dark. He cuts the connection. On your tactical display, you see the fleet spread out. Their engines burn hot and bright. They begin salvage operations, sending out waves of active scans, lighting up the graveyard like a festival. They are shouting their existence into the void. They do not know the danger. They do not understand that the silence was their only shield. You watch in horror. It is a slow-motion disaster. The engineer's warning echoes in your mind. Do not wake the echoes. You look at the artifact in your cargo bay. Its low hum has become a frantic, high-pitched whine. It feels like fear. A machine feeling fear. Then you see it, on the edge of your long-range sensors. A distortion. A patch of space that is growing darker than the void itself. A hole is being punched in reality. Something ancient and terrible has answered the call. It emerges, just like in the engineer's hologram. Not a ship warping in, but a presence flowing out of a wound in space. It is a shape of pure negation, a geometric impossibility that hurts the eyes. It is vast, larger than any of the human warships. It moves without propulsion. It glides through the debris field with a horrifying grace. The unmaking foe has returned. It is here to finish its work. The human fleet reacts instantly. They are soldiers. They see a threat. They engage. The Admiral's voice crackles over the fleet-wide channel, now open to all. All ships, target the unknown entity, fire at will. The Indomitable's main cannon discharges. A spear of pure plasma, hot enough to core a planet, crosses the distance in a heartbeat. It strikes the entity and vanishes. The energy is simply gone, absorbed, unwritten. The entity does not even seem to notice. It continues its silent advance. It reaches the nearest human frigate. The frigate fires everything it has. A storm of missiles and kinetic rounds. They disappear a few feet from the entity's non-surface. The entity touches the frigate's shields. The shields do not flare or break. They just cease to exist. Then it touches the hull. The ship does not explode. It unravels. It comes apart like a loosely knitted sweater. Plates of armor curl into fractal patterns and then fade to nothing. Decks and corridors are exposed to the void for a fraction of a second before they too are unmade. The crew, the reactor, the memories, all erased from existence. In 5 seconds, a half-mile-long warship is gone. Not even dust remains. There is only empty space where it once was. The fleet is broken before it even understood the fight. Panic erupts over the comms channels. Captains shouting orders that make no sense. Weapons officers reporting that their systems are useless. The disciplined machine of the human navy dissolves into chaos. The entity moves on. It glides toward a destroyer. The destroyer's captain makes a desperate choice. "Overload the reactor," he screams. "Take it with us." The ship glows white-hot. It detonates in a ferocious blast. A miniature sun erupts in the graveyard. The light of the explosion washes over the entity. For a moment, The impossible shape is illuminated. It seems to shimmer. But the blast wave, the radiation, the shrapnel, all of it hits the entity and is simply erased. The explosion dies without an echo. The entity emerges from the firestorm completely unharmed. It proceeds to unmake the next ship, and the next. Human ships are torn apart with ease. Their weapons are like children's toys. You are hiding, deep inside the engineer's control room, watching the slaughter on your tactical display. The red icons of the human fleet are winking out one by one. The Admiral's flagship, the Indomitable, is still there. He is trying to rally his forces, but it is hopeless. They are fighting a force of nature, a physical law that has decided they are no longer valid. You feel a profound sense of despair. Humanity's first contact with a true galactic power is an extinction event. But as you watch, you notice something, a pattern. The entity is not moving randomly. It is prioritizing targets. It goes after the ships with the highest energy output first, the ones with the active weapons and flaring engines. It is drawn to energy, like a moth to a flame. A very, very deadly moth. Then you notice something else. Something about the engineer's technology. The drones that attacked you, they were powered by those strange, paradoxical energy sources, active and inert at the same time. When they attacked you, they became fully active, and the entity, which must have been sleeping nearby, woke up. But what about the wrecks themselves? The giant, dead ships. They are filled with that same dormant energy, but the entity ignores them. It flows around them as if they are just rocks. It is not the technology it is drawn to. It is the use of the technology. A thought sparks in your mind. A crazy, desperate idea. The engineers were brilliant. Their star science was beyond anything you can comprehend. But maybe they were not creative. Not in the way a cornered animal is creative. They built a weapon that failed. They built defenses that acted as a beacon. They saw the enemy as a thing to be fought. But what if it is not a thing to be fought? What if it is a thing to be fooled? You have found a flaw, a scavenger's clever trick. You have to tell the Admiral. He is your only hope. You open a secure channel to the Indomitable. You bypass the chaos of the main comms. His face appears on your screen again. It is no longer proud or confident. It is the face of a man watching his world end. "Whoever you are," he says, his voice a hollow whisper, "get out of here. Save yourself." "Admiral," you say, your voice firm, "I have a plan." He almost laughs. A broken, bitter sound. "A plan? Look around you, kid. The plan is to die with some dignity." You shake your head. "Number?" "The plan is to live." The entity is drawn to active energy, but it ignores the dormant energy in these wrecks. What if we could make one of these wrecks look like the biggest, tastiest meal it has ever seen? You lay it out for him. Fast, simple. You have the artifact, a key. You are in a control room deep inside one of the largest wrecks. This wreck is the failed weapon the engineer spoke of. It has a core, a power source beyond imagination, sitting dormant. You believe you can use the artifact to activate it, not to fire the weapon as the engineers intended, but to create a massive, uncontrolled surge of power. A beacon, a trap. "You want to do what?" the Admiral asks. He is staring at you as if you have lost your mind, which, to be fair, is a distinct possibility. "Turn on an unknown alien superweapon? In the middle of a battle we have already lost?" You nod. "Yes, that's the plan. You need to be the bait. Pull your remaining ships back. Get the entity to follow you. Draw it close to this wreck, and I will light the fuse. It is a gamble of total desperation, an unthinkable human plan. The Admiral is silent for a long time. He looks at the tactical display. Another red icon vanishes. He has maybe a dozen ships left out of a fleet of over 100. He looks back at you. He sees the certainty in your eyes. He sees the artifact humming on the seat next to you. "Okay, scavenger," he says, a spark of the old fire returning to his voice. "Let's see your trick. Get to that core. We'll buy you all the time we can." The channel closes. The bait is set. Now comes the hard part. The control room you are in is not the final destination. The glowing point on your map, the one the artifact revealed, is deeper still, at the very heart of this colossal machine. You have to go into the hollow shell. You take the artifact from the passenger seat. It hums warmly in your hand. You leave the relative safety of your ship and step out into the engineer's control room. The air is cold, thin, and smells of ozone and time. The path forward is a single walkway over a chasm of dead machinery. The scale is breathtaking. You are a single cell inside the body of a dead god. You walk. The artifact lights your way. It projects a soft, blue light that seems to push back the ancient shadows. The silence is absolute again, broken only by the sound of your own breathing. It is a long walk, miles long, through chambers that could hold entire cities. Finally, you reach it, a spherical chamber at the very center of the world ship. And in the middle of that chamber, suspended in a web of energy conduits, is the core. It is a perfect sphere of swirling light. A captured star, a miniature galaxy. It is beautiful, and it is terrifying. This is the source of the dormant power, the heart of the weapon. You approach a control pedestal that rises from the floor before it. As you get closer, a new presence fills the room. It is not physical, it is mental. A mind, cold, vast, and infinitely old. A voice speaks directly inside your head. It is not the desperate voice of the engineer from the recording. This one is calm, powerful, dispassionate. "You are not of the people," it says. "You are a lesser form, a fleeting echo. You should not be here." It is the ghost in the machine. An ancient mind, an AI, left to guard this place. "I am here to use the weapon," you send back, focusing your thoughts. "To stop the unmaking." The AI's mental voice is laced with something like amusement. The weapon failed. The people failed. What can a primitive like you hope to achieve? You, who still cage your minds in shells of meat. You who still think in terms of sound and light. It judges you. It finds you unworthy. The sanctuary is sealed. Leave, or be erased. The pressure in your mind increases. It is trying to push you out, to overwhelm you. But you hold your ground. You have come too far. "You are right," you transmit. "We are primitive. We are desperate. We are not brilliant masters of reality like the engineers. But that is why we will win." The AI pauses. Its curiosity is piqued. "Explain this paradox," it commands. You do not use words. You use feelings. You show it the image of the human fleet arriving, arrogant and proud. You show it the Admiral's face. Then you show it the utter destruction, the despair, the terror of being unmade. You show it the Admiral's face again, broken but resolved. You show it the frantic, insane, desperate gamble of the surviving ships, fleeing to draw the enemy into a trap, risking everything on a scavenger's hunch. The engineers were brilliant, you think, projecting with all your might. But they were not desperate. They had never known true failure before the unmaking. They did not know how to be creative when they were weak. We do. Our entire history is a story of desperate creativity, of finding clever tricks when strength fails. That is the human spirit. That is what you will not find in your logic gates. You show it your plan, not as a schematic, but as a hope, a blaze of defiant light against the all-consuming dark. The mental pressure recedes. The AI is silent for a long moment. You can feel it processing. It is comparing 10,000 years of cold logic against this sudden, fiery burst of chaotic emotion. Your species is an anomaly, the AI finally says. Your desperation is a unique form of energy. It is illogical. It is inefficient. It may be effective. The control pedestal in front of you glows. A space appears on its surface, shaped exactly like the artifact in your hand. The people are gone, the AI states. A hint of something new is in its voice, not sadness, acceptance. Their logic failed. Perhaps your illogical hope is the variable we lacked. It is granting you a final chance. Show me what your human spirit can create. You place the artifact into the pedestal. The chamber hums. The core awakens. The entire world ship shudders around you. The dormant energy is stirring. On your wrist communicator, you see a message from the Admiral. It's on us, kid. It's right behind us. Whatever you're going to do it now. You look at your tactical map. The few remaining red icons of the human fleet are converging on your position. And right behind them is the vast, black shape of the cosmic horror. They are baiting it perfectly, leading it right to the trap. The core in front of you brightens. The swirling lights become a raging storm. The AI's voice echoes one last time in your mind. The weapon was designed for a precision strike, a surgical cut in reality. What you are about to do is messy. You can almost hear a hint of humor in the ancient mind. I am activating the primary conduits, but I am overriding all safety protocols. The energy release will be total. The weapon will consume itself, and this ship with it. Just make sure it takes the enemy with it, you reply. You grip the controls. The power flowing through the pedestal is immense. You feel connected to the entire ship. To every plate and wire, you can feel the enemy approaching. Its presence is a cold sickness in the fabric of space. Closer, closer. The human ships peel away at the last second, their engines screaming in protest as they flee the blast zone. The entity glides forward, drawn to the immense raw power you are about to unleash. It is hungry. It is right on top of you. Its impossible form fills your view screen, a maw of nothingness ready to devour this tantalizing meal of energy. Now, you whisper. You slam your hand down on the activation panel. The hollow weapon fires. It is not a beam. It is not a blast. The entire 10-mile-long ship screams. It unleashes a wave of pure creation, a shockwave of reality so dense, so absolute, that it burns. The enemy, a being of uncreation, is hit by a tsunami of pure, undiluted is. The forgotten light is blinding. It is the color of birth, the sound of a universe being forged. The entity writhes. For the first time, it feels something. Pain, overload. Its form, which had no form, is given one against its will. Its nature, which was to unmake, is itself unmade by a torrent of raw existence. It burns in a light it cannot comprehend. It dissolves, not into nothingness, but into something. It is forced back into the laws of physics it so casually ignored. It becomes energy, and light, and matter. And then it is gone. The shockwave expands. The world ship is tearing itself apart. The core implodes, then erupts. You run. The AI's voice is gone. The walkway is collapsing behind you. You race back the way you came. The blue light of the artifact, now a memory. You leap across chasms that are widening by the second. You see the stray dog. Its bay door is open. You launch yourself inside and slam the controls. The ship lurches out of the docking bay just as the entire chamber caves in. You fly through the exploding corpse of the engineer ship. It is a hellscape of molten metal and raw energy. Your shields are screaming. Your ship is being torn apart. But you push on. Out of the chaos, into the silence. You clear the blast radius. You look back. The engineer's mighty weapon ship, the tomb of its people, is a new star in the sky. A brilliant, fading monument to a battle won. And then, it is gone. The silence returns. The graveyard is quiet again. Your ship is a wreck. But it is flying. On your screen, a message from the Admiral. Just one word. Status? You look around your cockpit, at the quiet hum of your own ship's engine, at the empty space where the enemy used to be. You have a secret, a terrible, wonderful secret. Humanity is not alone, and it is not defenseless. We're okay, Admiral, you reply. We are okay. You have escaped the ruin, you have a new weapon, and you have a new warning. This is a new and dangerous dawn for all of humanity.